season finale. Hey, what's up? What's up?
We made it.
We did
Two
it.
seasons.
Two
We're at
seasons
the very
in.
end.
Welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. This is the Atala Dispatch. I'm BK.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to our season 2 finale.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Crick.
Crack.
Now, friend, we've been talking about memory palaces all week long.
Oh yeah. I did
And-
some research actually
Okay.
after you told me about this memory palace. I'm
Yes.
very excited to do this
Mhm.
exercise with you.
Yes. Okay, well,
So explain to the people.
Let's all get into this. So, a memory palace, and of course, we've been talking about memories
Mm-hmm.
and
And
our
lineage.
organizing lineage
Yeah.
all season long.
Mm-hmm.
We really got deep with all the folks over at the Highlander Homecoming.
Yes.
And
Big
of
love
course,
to Highlander Center.
yes,
We love
and of
y'all.
course, all of our guests throughout the week, throughout the season,
Mm-hmm.
since June.
Oh man, I can't believe
Oh
it's
my
been that long.
goodness.
It's so good. So big love to Ruth. Big love to
Cindy.
Big love to Jamarah, who you'll meet today.
Yes.
We got to talk to folks from Southern Birth Justice Network. We've been
Mhm.
trying to get them on the show all season, so
Yes,
we're very excited.
they've been on our wish list for
Oh, yeah.
since the very beginning, actually.
Yeah. So we're very excited that they are going to be our closing interview. Very powerful folks to know and understand their work.
Yes, absolutely.
Who else was on the show this season? I know we had Ruth.
We had Rebecca from Swamped in the Glades.
We had Jess from Poetry for the
Jess
People.
from Poetry for the People.
Yes.
Yes, it's been a pretty eventful season. And of course, yes, we've been talking about organizing lineages. We've been talking about memory work. We've been doing memory work as this entire project is, of course, the connection between the Caribbean and the South.
Yes.
But really, it's the capturing of stories of the folks that are doing work right now and for us to look at in the future.
Making
right?
sure we're holding those stories, making sure we're understanding whose legacies that we're a part of, and knowing whose shoulders we stand on and whose work that we are committed to uplifting and bringing forward into the future. So big love to everyone that's supported us so far. This is not an ending, but a new beginning.
That's right.
Yes.
So, Memory Palace.
Yeah, let's get into the Memory Palace.
Memory Palace is essentially a tool for you to remember. So, we have been giving you all of these memories, and we want to give you the tools for you all to remember, for you all to hold on to these legacies, these lineages, for you to be able to come back to them as references for your own work. And so the Memory Palace came to mind because it is a place of your own making, a place that's personal to you. Perhaps it's the house that you grew up in. Perhaps it's a place that's near and dear to you. And you essentially build out this place in your mind. And as you're moving through it mentally, you're assigning memories to different objects within this memory palace, right? So the way that this could work, actually, let's all join in.
Yeah.
Let's all close our eyes.
And we're talking to the folks that are here with us today.
Yes.
We got a few lovely people that came to join us live in person.
That's right.
So they'll be helping us and doing this Memory Palace in real life with us. So if you are able to come join us, we're outside on the patio at Dear Eleanor. Come pull up. We'll be here for a little bit.
Yes.
But let's get into it.
Yeah. So let's close our eyes. And let's imagine the place where we grew up.
Shout out to Lotta Hill, Deep Side, Sunset Strip. Oh,
let's stand on the sidewalk and let's walk in perhaps through the door. Maybe there's something about the doorknob that feels memorable to us, the way that it feels, the bumps around the rounded knob. And maybe that in itself, I'll allow this plane to pass.
Maybe, there's planes passing wherever you lived as a child.
Maybe that doorknob in itself is something to remember some of the lessons or anything that truly you want to remember. But one thing that comes to mind is our time at Highlander and how the lesson of this being our life and not our work,
I share.
and how that framing actually was something that, first of all, rang so true for me.
Same. Yeah.
That rang so, it gave it words that I didn't have before, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the knowing of something and then
Mm-hmm.
the actually like embodying of
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and to hear person after person after
Yeah,
person say
just
that.
resonate with that. Yeah, and they said it in like in different ways in different
Mhm.
languages. Some people, said it directly, right? Or some
Mhm.
people in their storytelling like made that very apparent. Like this isn't just a job or this isn't just work for them. This is how they operate in their life. Like movement
Mhm.
is their life.
Mhm.
That was so affirming for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that could be a lesson that we assign to the doorknob.
Mm. Mhm.
And as we enter in,
Mm.
perhaps there's a mirror.
Mm.
And what lesson could we assign to a mirror?
Mm. Um. Well, I'll say personally, the lessons that I learned from the mirror um, is to be a witness.
Mm.
It could be a witness of like a breakdown or a witness of like what growth really looks like.
Mm.
Um, a witness to what sharpness can do to a body or a mind. Um, what awareness of those faults and like rough edges can do for you.
Mm.
hmm That's what I think about when I think of a mirror. Like, what is being mirrored back? And do I agree with what's being mirrored back? Is it okay to look in this mirror? Do I feel safe when I look in that mirror?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what's coming up for me. What about
Okay.
you?
Um well, I'm resonating with what you're
Mm,
saying. I
mm,
think that a huge part of what I think we've been wanting to bring to folks with our show is essentially a way to connect.
mm.
And I think being able to connect often comes with um, personal lessons, personal growth.
Yeah,
It's not easy to be in community with folks. Being in community with folks, there's uncomfortability, there's
yeah,
vulnerability that comes with that.
yeah.
And that's something to pay attention to and to know,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that it's hard doesn't mean that we should shy away from it. We should
Right,
lean into that.
right.
And that
Yeah.
is something to hold and to move through.
I
And I
think
think that that's what I'm getting when
Yeah, I
you
think
say
the
the mirror.
biggest thing that I've learned from being a mirror and from actually witnessing someone being a mirror for me is that, you don't grow if you're not leaning into that uncomfort. And I
Mm.
think this
Mm.
year actually proved that to me again. I
Mhm.
think I had forgotten that, a little bit
Mhm.
along the way. But someone who used to be like a really close organizer friend of mine kind of let me know that, and it resounded for me again as I was in this season. Like, hey, if you're not uncomfortable and you're not leaning into the uncomfort, you're not really growing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I had to ooh girl what? I had to look in that mirror real quick. Like, oh, okay, so I'm too complacent right now. I need to shake this up.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So shout out to the mirrors in our lives. Figurative and, actual.
For sure. But
Got lost in the weeds, sorry.
no, 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 it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Uh
Okay, so we're at the mirror.
we're at the mirror, and as we continue down the hallway,
Mm.
perhaps we come across a familiar couch
Mm.
where we can sit and lounge. It has been shaped to us to the
Mm.
point of like, you know, just absolute familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
And it is our couch, but we have our spot,
Mm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe that might remind us of each of our roles
Mm.
that we play, that we all bring something, that everyone is doing something different
Yeah.
according to like their own calling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important and that's crucial. And that's necessary, for all of us to recognize what our talents are, what our calling is, and to follow that intuition into uh, doing something, anything, shaking things up, creating chaos, uh, providing healing, whatever that might be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big love to that intuition.
Hmm.
We gotta listen to them. Intuition's nothing to play with.
Absolutely.
Oh Lord.
Well, this has been extremely fun.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, none of this would be possible without MCR,
Oh
Miami
yeah.
Community
Oh,
Radio.
big, big,
So,
big
big thank you
energy and big
to Miami
thank you
Community
to
Radio.
MCR.
It
Yes.
has not only been a pleasure to work with everyone here, but um, also we should note that the care, the politic, the intentions behind MCR are so very aligned
Mm-hmm.
with, you know, our continued work, our culture
Mm-hmm.
work, our movement work, that it's been an absolute pleasure
Yeah.
to be here. And actually, we have Phil here,
Big Phil. What's up,
who we
Philly
would love to
Phil?
invite to this chair. As you all can see, there's an empty chair here. We're going to be
Come to our
inviting folks
couch. Our
up.
makeshift couch here, Phil. We might have to move in a little bit for you.
Yeah, Phil,
Hello. How's it
Hey,
going?
welcome.
Yeah, thanks
what's
so much
going
for inviting
on?
me. Yeah,
No
yeah.
problem.
Of
Thank
Chilling.
you for
course.
inviting us.
Yes, no,
Phil
an
is
honor.
typically around whenever we're recording, but never on this side of the camera. So welcome.
He's usually in the background making sure we have good
Yes.
sounds
Yes.
underneath our show.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
Making sure all our assets are loaded up and ready to go and laughing alongside us,
Yes.
giving us that
Yes.
good
Little background
energy.
music,
Yeah,
Christian
yeah,
Scott, some good stuff.
absolutely.
So, Phil, we wanted to talk to you a little bit just to kind of give our audience, I mean, it's y'all's audience too, right? But our audience specifically, like
Shared,
an
yeah.
understanding of like how MCR fits into the whole ecosystem and just what it's been like to work alongside us this season.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's an honor. I'm so glad that you guys reached out to us to put this together. Yeah, of course, a lot of the programming we have on the station leans more towards music and specifically electronic music
mm-hmm,
or
Hmm.
DJ programming, since that's kind of the world that my co-founders come from, more specifically producing, DJing, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm always trying to get as much, talk programming
mm-hmm,
and kind of more like public affairs programming and stuff.
yeah,
Um, so it's really impactful to have a program like this that has such important conversations. The interview you had with the
oh
Highlander,
yeah,
I can't recall their name off the top of my head, but super impactful.
mm-hmm,
And yeah, it's been an honor. I love to be behind the scenes, like supporting something like this. You know what I mean? Because I'm
yeah,
also behind the scenes for lots of other things that I don't align with.
mm-hmm,
So it's
mm-hmm.
like, you get out of bed in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I wish I could sleep another 8 hours. But then you're here and then you're like, oh, now I got to do a satellite setup. But then, you do it. And then, it's like deeply, deeply like worth it in that sense
Mm-hmm.
because of the alignment. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
um, so, yeah, I can't recall if there was like a second part to the question that I'm not touching on, but
Just what it's been like. I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like what it's been like to work with us, and I guess for folks that are kind of doing similar work to us, if they are interested in like working alongside you all, like what kind of resources can you provide someone in that situation, or what could they look forward to being on the
certainly.
platform?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I mean the main resource I guess that we provide in the sense of programming is obviously recording, streaming everything.
Mm-hmm.
We've essentially reinvested all the funding that we've garnered through our labor into the equipment for the station.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off bootstrapping with different gear that we basically all donated, and then I mean there's still donated gear being used, but using different funds from events that we maybe don't align with as much, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's somewhere
Mm-hmm.
more in the middle.
Yeah.
But you're getting the check for that one, and then you're able to reinvest that in the organization. So we have a pretty solid backline at this point, and the philosophy that we operate from with regards to the streams and the recordings is like shared IP basically, right? So you made the comment about like the audiences that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like it's of course there's separate channels. You have your page, we have our page, but like the philosophy that we have is that it's shared in that sense, and that we're basically both like contributing time, energy, and wisdom to this kind of collective good. So some platforms maybe that would like stream, but maybe then it would be a hassle to get the recording and this and that. And we like to give people the recordings, and you can do with it whatever you like. Because it's like one deep aspect of our mission is the archival kind of perspective, and documenting these conversations, even the music element too, documenting these moments, the programming we have here at Dear Eleanor, and also the event programming that we do, where we've popped up at different events, recording those events and catching that little snapshot in time. So anyway, to touch on the question more directly, if anyone is interested in hosting some type of talk program, or really anything. I mean, like I said, we do a lot of music. I'm always open to more talk. The intersection in between is also cool. And definitely aim to connect with people and organizations that, are tapped into these ideas of resource sharing, mutual aid networks, kind of these, collectivist ideals, as we try to utilize the station as a vehicle to create more opportunities for people in the creative class, but also beyond that. That kind of gets into this thing of like, who is really a creative? Everyone's a creative. It's all internal. But music and art and things surrounding that, conversations surrounding that, have such a deep healing power. So that I in my estimation, is why the radio station has kind of presented itself as like the vehicle for that, because it's such a connective force that brings people together. The physical space and the online space, connecting those things together. And then building from that, right? Like once you bring the people together, then building from that, trying to make some type of lasting change. Long-term goals. Trying to, we have residents in the terms of the programming now, but long-term would be amazing to have some type of physical space that we could have people living at, with some type of, maybe you're there for 3 months during it's
Your
a residency, right? So
yeah.
that's kind of speaking that intention into existence, taking inspiration from other spaces. There's a space in Paterson, New Jersey that I got connected with. That's like artist residency. They have multiple floors of a warehouse, and they built different rooms, and they do shows, and it's kind of like what everyone wants to do, but they're actually doing it.
Right.
And it's like not some perfunctory, like, there's drama and this and that, but they're all kind of, it's pretty well organized. And we actually had done some streams from there too and stuff. So
Nice.
Anyway, obviously, other inspirations as well, but that's a space that I wanted to make mention of. But I think not to
Dope.
ramble on.
No worries.
No,
It's cool. So well, thank you so much again, Phil, for allowing us the space. We really do connect with the community of folks that operate with MCR. I'm gotten to become friends with some of the DJs here, especially Lady J.
Yes,
Hey, girl.
shout out.
Her show's often
So
right
fire.
before
Yeah,
us,
it's usually right up.
Yeah,
right
I think
before
there was
us.
one day it wasn't.
Oh,
Or
Yeah.
maybe.
probably.
I think like the first one it was, and then I think the second one you were
Yeah.
expecting her, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
But then everything since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got fans now. You got fans, girl.
Yes.
But anything else you want to go through with Phil before we let him go?
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering about more of like the way that you all have set up MCR as a whole, like just your more cooperative approach to your structure. If you can
Right.
speak a little bit on that.
Right. Yeah. So again, using the radio as a means of bringing people together, uniting people through common beliefs. When we first started the station, we're still technically on chain, but we don't really we're not active in that side of it at this time, because just the moment wasn't there. But when we first started the station, we basically created it as like a DAO, which is like a decentralized autonomous organization.
Right.
It's within the crypto space, and you can set up organizations in different ways. Some have like, you have to have certain tokens or this and that to get in. Ours was going to be obviously the people that are residents would have that membership through the residency. And the main benefit of that program was the transparency, right? Which is of course the benefit with crypto in general versus these, banks that hide all this information, and you can't access the ledger and you can't see the transactions, et cetera, et cetera. So the transparency element was very inviting, and to the effect of like operating it as a cooperative and having the residents have stake, and then also having voting processes that would again those would be levied through, or not levied, but set up through the through that DAO system. So that's something we were putting some time and work into organizing, but there just wasn't really the alignment culturally, and it's kind of a volatile space at the same time too. Obviously, they're trying to regulate more, and so and also engagement wise, if you're trying to set up an organization where everyone has equal input, you need there to actually be input,
right?
Because otherwise it
falls apart.
nothing really happens. Tragedy of the commons scenario.
Right.
If there's no direction and and because we live in a culture currently where it's not like that's not the norm. People aren't used to being in a space where it's like, oh, just do whatever, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that makes people like not really do anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and I've been in that space too, where there's been moments in the radio and in previous projects in the past where it's like, you hit little lulls and stuff like that, which is natural at the same time too. But so all of that just to say, like, now we're I've been considering some more like concepts in the vein of like vanguardism, and having self-elected, like basically like in the sense of leadership and pushing something forward. It's like it doesn't have to be this like negative hierarchical thing, but rather like if you want to do it and then you do it, you will naturally be the leader because you have more context of what's being done because you're putting the time in. You know what I mean? So of course, there's things that get created around that are sometimes unsavory, which is why we wanted to be like so non-hierarchical and very, and we are still experimental, but just noticing that maybe isn't the most effective way.
It's hard to do, honestly. Not like it's good and it's aspirational, right?
Yes.
But in practice, non-hierarchical is very hard to do. You have to be very patient.
It's a skill set.
Yeah,
it's a skill set that you have to learn as you go.
And it's unlearning those things.
Oh yeah,
and it's like
absolutely.
so much comes up with that. Like
yes.
You gotta. It's a skill. You gotta practice for sure. Yeah. So give yourself some grace in that, because
Thank you.
Not easy.
Yes, definitely a lot of different struggles, and then but yeah, so much value to the project that it's beyond worth it to continue putting the time in. But yeah, essentially that kind of progression. Now also trying to kind of shore up the back end and make sure we have enough. Like this whole, you want to be transparent to the people that you want to be transparent to. And then there's other benefits to anonymity in other senses. So that's been something that we've been working on as well, kind of on the back end. But this season has really been incredible. I've been really grateful for different people coming through and helping, with operations and everything like that. And because in the past, like, there's been moments where, most of the back end stuff, pretty much all of it is volunteeristic because again, all the funding that we get, we reinvested into the gear and stuff like that. So, when something is volunteeristic, like, it's this balance of like, if you're agreeing to do something, there's that accountability of agreeing to do something. So, you want that person to follow through, and there's, there can be a degree of like, externalization of like, hey, you said you were going to do this, blah, 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 but there also has to be a balance of like understanding that it is ultimately volunteeristic, and
Mhm.
people have other responsibilities.
Right.
Like, basically, it's extremely, I've found it to be very difficult to balance, like, you're trying to create a system to undermine the existing system, but
Mhm.
you can't remove yourself from the existing system because then you'll get screwed,
Right.
basically. That's
Yeah.
what they want. Like,
Yeah.
they're waiting for you because their system, like, they have it all together to screw you, basically.
Right.
So
Mhm.
you have to play both games, which is very tiring,
Yeah.
extremely draining.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
um,
battle this a lot.
yes.
Yeah.
And, it's, at moment, you have to take little moments for yourself and stuff like that.
yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I had a moment recently where I was just like, it's just like, it's how much do you want it? You know what I mean? Like, if you have to take those sacrifices.
Yeah.
Like, it depends how much you're willing to sacrifice. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so yeah, balancing that, has been, there's been moments where it's been good. There's been moments where it's not. I feel as though I'm reasonably good at striking that balance. Like,
Yeah.
my experience and other radio spaces and the other shows I put together and stuff like that. Like, that balance of like accountability and understanding, like, yeah, it's all good, but like, if you can't do it, like, it's all good, like, just let me know and maybe we'll
Right.
circle back later or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to be chasing someone down, like, if
Right.
they're not
Right.
actually able to do it, it's
Right.
like, it's all good, no worries. But of course you also need people.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, trying to balance all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that
Well,
makes sense.
Well, I
Yeah.
know I definitely will still be around. I'm
Yes.
not gonna, leave y'all hanging. Because it was fun being at 3 points, even though I didn't really help that much.
No, it's cool. Yeah. No, that was
It
that was
nice
that
to
was
be a
nice.
part of it.
That was
was
nice.
the-
And that's also something that we like to, there's an element of
Yeah.
like, that is another resource that we can provide,
Right.
because
Yeah,
we get
yeah.
these bands and stuff, and and that's such so chaotic. Like,
Oh,
last
yeah.
year there were people who like had expressly said they were coming, and
they
again,
didn't
it's
show up.
volunteeristic, so
Yeah,
it's
of
like they
course,
want to see
yeah.
their sets, and then it's
Uh-huh.
like, well, but you kind of like, we kind of
Right.
need you here now.
Right,
But then you
yeah.
don't really know when you're gonna need people, so it was like I had to have my friends come in, like, kind of just to get them in,
Right. Yeah.
But then, like, I ended up literally needing my friend. Like, this one moment, everyone else was gone,
Yeah.
and it was this super active. Like, we were doing a live band stage last year, so it was way more camera work.
Okay,
Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
and so we needed two people because I needed to be doing the camera. Like, Nick was doing his set, so I was doing the camera work, and then basically I needed my friend to be there in that exact moment.
Yeah.
So it was super clutch. I was like, now you can, I got you in. You
Yeah.
can help me. Blah blah blah. But
Well-
yeah, it ebbs and flows naturally. Like, this year was. This year went super nicely, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out Victor with Wave Ray events. He put on a beautiful production, incredible lighting install.
Oh yeah, it was really lovely in there. Yeah, I had
yeah.
a little cute little nook.
So
I was
cool.
like, okay,
Yeah, it's
good.
also fire to have the little corner for
Yeah,
sure,
it's
the
nice.
bathrooms and everything. And that was especially cool because in 2023, when we did our like proper stage, when we actually curated it and we did the the 31 artists doing electronic, original electronic music. Victor had helped us out so much that year with our stage because he kind of got like what's the word, like, not pigeonholed, but like basically like he was like helping us out with it, and he was like it didn't end up really being as fruitful budget wise for him as would have been ideal because of the way that worked out kind of on the back end. But of course he was so aligned with the project, so he helped out so much in that organization and kind of keeping everything together to the point that it pulled him away from his stage, which was Door 4, which was the one that we covered this year.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So it was like kind of energetically correct for us to like document his stage after he had, sacrificed.
Right.
Got it.
And it was cool that
2023,
there was
yeah.
that year gap too,
Yeah.
because that was 2023, and then 2024 we did the different live stage.
Oh yeah, I remember
But then
that.
this
Yeah,
year
yeah. Mhm.
was the first year that he got placed inside. So
Got it.
everyone knows that literally every factor is better inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lighting, displays better, et cetera, et cetera. So
Gotcha.
so he basically said like this was the best year
Oh, nice.
to document,
Okay.
because in the
Nice.
past he'd be placed near the bathroom. And it was
Right,
like a
right,
cute
right,
little
yeah.
side vibe, but like, you're dealing with bleed and stuff like that. Like even at some of these main stages, there's like terrible bleed, man. Like
Yeah.
this layout is just not. You gotta like remove a few stages or
Yeah,
something. But
no,
you
for
know,
Yeah.
whatever.
sure. Yeah,
Outside of my
yeah.
purview, but
Above our pay grades out here.
anyway, a little bit of a tangent, but yeah,
Yeah, no
shout out
worries.
Victor, super cool. Shout out all the people that were involved in that stage.
Mhm.
Souls Departed, True Vine. A lot of really, really dope artists coming through and playing there. And those videos are already up.
Yeah.
So those videos we put out very soon after. Unfortunately, the 2024 videos are still not up because we need to like coordinate with. But those are all ready to go. The 2023 videos are up as well if you
Yeah,
want to check
I
out
saw
that.
those,
Yeah.
And the open house videos from all the years are up as well, as
yeah,
well as
nice.
the panel discussions they had
Last year, right?
early this year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
like that
last year.
Jolene
Yeah,
and those are
Jolene.
all up on the YouTube.
Oh, I had such an annoying time trying to get to those. Oh my
Yeah.
I remember you had
Ugh.
a tough time with the
Man.
one person.
They were, I do remember that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yes,
talk shit,
I do
but,
remember that as
ugh,
well. Yes,
that was
yes,
rude.
Yes. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That was.
But
that
you know, it was
yeah.
great. Great experience. You know how Michael Jackson was like, "Oh, I love the tour."
Yeah.
You know, a moment like that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
So funny.
Phil.
But yeah, all that just to say, the festival was cool this year.
Mhm.
The videos were awesome, and definitely looking forward to some future stuff.
Oh yeah.
Got a few
Yes.
things we're covering during Basel. Danny Days
Oh yeah.
is spinning at the
Basil.
roller rink in Kendall.
Come on.
Oh,
via Escape Room magazine, which is my friend Sylvia's project. She's someone I knew from WVUM. She was GM, not immediately after me, but with one degree. One person was after me, and then she was after that. Anyway, she's putting on this event with Danny Days, which is cool because I guess the roller rink there was like the first place that he ever played or something,
wow.
back like
Oh,
20 years
sweet.
ago. So it's
Oh,
like full
man.
circle for him.
That
and
is really sweet.
I was like, how are you getting Danny Days on the Friday
I
of
know,
Basel?
right?
Like,
Crazy.
of course, I'm sure there's some, some budget being freed up, but like
Oh, of
even
course.
so,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
getting Danny is pretty fire. So that'll be cool. And then we're doing a collab with Public Energy, which is Ty Davis. If you guys know Ty Davis, he's a
I've heard
DJ.
that
He's
name.
actually had Jolie on a few times on his show.
Yeah.
He's working alongside Miami Art Society and Jimmy Butler's coffee brand,
Okay.
like Big Face, like in Design District.
Okay,
Through.
cool,
Okay.
So that's like
yeah.
a daytime thing
Yeah.
on
Okay.
the December 4th,
Listen,
2 to 6
I'm
p.m.
totally not ready for Basel season.
Yeah.
And it's always my birthday, so I'm just like,
Oh, it's your birthday? When's your birthday?
the 7th.
Okay, nice.
Everything happens, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I never get to actually plan a really great birthday
Right.
at home. Like, I have to go away in
Yeah.
order to really enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna enjoy Basel this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
I guess I'll enjoy it.
Well,
And
thank-
then, sorry, one more. And then,
Yeah.
speaking of the 7th, Sam, Mr. Bitch. I
Oh.
believe it's a call to action event. I'm actually not
I think it
100%
is.
sure if
I
it's.
think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah.
We will most likely be covering that. That's like going to be at Supernatural House
Nice.
on 79th Street there.
Yeah.
So
That's gonna be
that
really
will
good.
be super cool. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then if there's talk of something happening, I think here on that Tuesday the 3rd, but I can't recall off the top of my mind. So anyway,
Okay.
Okay.
cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, big love to MCR
Yes, likewise.
and dear
Thank you guys so
Eleanor.
much for
Thank
thanks
you,
so much for
Phil.
bringing me up
No
to talk and everything. Really
problem.
appreciate you guys.
We wanted to give a voice and a face
Yes.
to,
Right.
to our
yeah,
production.
The context, here.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Appreciate you
Thank
guys.
Phil.
All right. Well, with that, maybe we should introduce our interview.
Oh, yeah.
Of the.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
Of the.
Wait a minute. We got babies in the space. Get out of here. What are you
Bye,
doing?
bye, bye,
Go
bye,
away. You're not supposed to be
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
yeah.
camera. Well, these are our other guests that are joining us today.
Yes. All right. So we have Jamarah Amani on.
Yes, so we
Who-
got a chance to sit down with our fave, Jamarah Amani of the Southern Birth Justice Network. She got to talk to us about reproductive justice and birth justice as it relates to being birthed here in Miami. So birth justice is a movement that that they helped co-found here in the city. So she talked a little bit about that, her love of purple, which we're all purple girls out here. Shout out to purple.
Yes.
Mm.
And of course, we just got to hang out and have a
Yeah.
good time with her. She's a near and dear friend of ours and of the show,
Mhm.
and has been cheering us on from
Since the beginning.
yes,
Yeah,
and
since the
of
beginning.
course she's been on our list
Yeah.
from the very beginning. And finally, we got to get her on, and to have her on for the finale of season 2,
Mhm.
super special. So enjoy
And we'll be
this
right
interview,
back.
and we'll be right back. Yeah, she challenged me for us to start somewhere light. And I'm wondering if you could tell us about you and your relationship to the color purple.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes. As a lover of the color purple myself, I was very excited to hear that you are also a part of the purple lovers crew. So shout out to us. Yes.
Yes, shout out to the purple people. Um, I would say my relationship to the color purple is that I believed Alice Walker when she said that we should not walk by the color purple without noticing it, appreciating it, loving it. I remember reading the book The Color Purple when I was
Mm.
relatively young. I was probably 12.
Mm.
Um, and it was pretty much a wrap for me after that. I was like, oh, this is the most beautiful thing that God has created.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm.
And then I learned, as I grew up, I learned more about the meaning of it and the spirituality, you know, the royal aspects of it,
Mm.
um, and just seeing it more in nature and playing around with different shades of purple. And um, yeah, it's just such an expansive color. And
Mm.
I love every single shade of it too,
Yes,
Mm.
same. Same, same.
from lilac to aubergine.
Oh, okay.
I love that. Yeah,
That's
and
so
I
good.
saw that you have a new project called the Purple Balloon.
Mhm.
Yes, I do. It is a short feature film about traditional midwives in Zanzibar. And I'm
Mm.
working with a team of local filmmakers there that are from Tanzania and Kenya to tell the story of the traditional midwife. And, everywhere you look around the world, traditional midwives are being pushed out and sidelined, and we see
Mhm.
maternal health declining as that happens. So that
Mhm.
is happening in the US, but it's not unique to the US. And I learned that by spending time in East Africa. Um, but, right here in the neighboring state in Georgia, we're still fighting for traditional midwives to be
Right.
recognized, for home birth to be legalized. Um, so, yeah, traditional midwives have held up societies and the whole world since the beginning of time, literally in the Bible. um, and so it's a very special project to me. And I actually didn't choose that title, The Purple Balloon.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny how alignment happens,
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
just like you attract the things that are meant for you. So
Shit's right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I totally made that
You thought
assumption.
I made
It's
that.
so cool that it,
I mean, it
but
No,
would
it's
I
make
was
like,
sense.
invited into the project and it already had that title.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
You're like, okay, yes, this makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. I
Awesome.
love
Thank you so
that.
much for sharing that. That's really beautiful. And
thank
big
Yes.
love to the Purple Balloon Project. Can't wait to hear more about it and see more or
Yeah, and see it.
see more from it. Yeah.
you. Yes, yes.
Absolutely. So, you know, we go back pretty far back. You're my midwife for both of my babies.
I was gonna say,
And
what's our origin story?
Right.
that is our origin story. And of course, BK has done some doula training,
Just a
some
little bit.
birth
Yes,
justice
yes.
doula training. Let's get it right.
Yes. And I
Um,
will be in the next cohort. So
yes.
good. well,
Did you use your
hopefully.
application in?
I'm putting it in this week. So
Yeah.
you'll see me hopefully if I get through the application process, but I would love
No,
to be
let's
a part
get
of
you in there. Let's
it.
yes, yes, let's do it.
You need to be in it.
Um, but I want to take us a little bit further back. I would love
Mm.
for you to walk us through what you would say is your organizing lineage.
Mhm.
Mm.
Or even deeper, your organizing, I guess, origin story. Because I
Mhm.
hear from a little birdie that you have some powerful, deep connections to organizing legacy of the Black Panthers. So I would love to hear you talk a little bit about your connections to that as well.
That is true. That is true. So, my organizing legacy is that both my parents were activists during the Black Power movement and the Black Arts movement. So, my father was a Black Panther. His name is Earl Leverett. He was a Black Panther in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And my mother, Akita Mitchell, she was a part of the Black Arts movement at the time when uh, the Black Arts movement was really about raising awareness about the struggles of Black folks and specifically supporting political prisoners.
Mm,
So my father was targeted and criminalized and arrested through COINTELPRO. And that's how my parents met. My mother was part of a spoken word poetry event to support political prisoners at the prison where my father was incarcerated.
Mhm.
And that's how they met. And then they wrote to each other for 3 years until he was released. And they had a baby. I mean, they got married and then had a baby, but yeah, she would want me to say that part.
right.
Got it. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I don't think I realized the all of the details of that story. That's so beautiful. I love that, especially that poetry connection,
Mm,
as that's what brought BK and I together.
yep.
So
Mm.
that's beautiful as well.
And then also let's just take a moment for the love letters. Like
Right.
Yes,
Three
the
years of letters.
time.
three
Like,
years
Mom,
of
do you have these
letters.
letters? She's like, no, I don't have them anymore.
What? Oh no.
My heart.
Oh
This is the importance of archiving, man. Like,
yeah,
come
man.
on.
Uh
Oh my
that would
goodness.
that would have been so good to just see the little progression of their love story throughout those 3 years. Well, at least you could have the stories too, so can talk to them and
That's
get
real.
get the perspectives in that way. But man,
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about it growing up. I actually didn't learn, like, with the story I just shared with you, a lot of that I learned as an adult because it wasn't shared with me growing up.
mhm,
Gotcha.
So I had to do some digging, some prying. There was a lot of trauma from
mm,
that experience and that
Yeah.
whole movement
mhm,
because of how hard the federal government came down on folks and destroyed their lives, specifically the CIA. And
Yeah.
so I think it was hard for people to talk about it and to
Yeah.
pass it on to the next generation. I mean, I hear this from other Panther kids too, just
mhm,
you know, yeah, it's kind of it's there, but it's not there. Like I had to
Mm.
find news articles and court transcripts and do my own. I was so grateful
Oh,
for the
wow.
invention of the internet when I was a teenage, the World Wide Web, they called it
right.
back then, when I was a teenager, because I was like, oh, I can go online and find information. And
Mm,
that honestly is what really politicized me was that
mm,
search,
Mm.
because I wasn't connected to my father throughout my entire childhood. And
Mhm.
so I wanted information about him. And the more information that I got, the more I was like, oh, that's fucked up. Oh, I don't know if y'all curse on the show, but
yeah, go for
okay.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
Like, that's fucked up what they did to my daddy. And it politicized me more because I learned more and more about how the system works. Like there's
it.
a court transcript where the judge asks him, are you a revolutionary? And my father says yes. And the judge is like, well, we don't allow revolutionaries in the state of Wisconsin, and then sentences him, you know?
Mm.
Like I was like, oh, that's a thing that can happen. And I was
Mhm.
like 14, 15, finding this information, and it really made me be
Wow.
like, oh, we live in a messed up system and it's still largely the same.
Yeah.
So after that, just talking about my organizing journey, my first
Mhm.
real thing that I did was I restarted the Black Student Union at my high school because it had kind of gone defunct. And I was like, oh, no, that needs to come back, you know?
Mhm.
And I think I was 15 then. I remember we did a walkout when the Abner Louima situation happened in New York, who was
Mhm.
a man who was arrested and beaten by cops,
Mhm.
sodomized, like so bad, you know? And
Ugh.
even though I was in California, I grew up in California, we
Mhm.
heard about it and we were just, you know, we got to do something. So we did a walkout.
Yeah.
Um, and then I really got into abolition work and anti-death penalty work when I found out that there were people being sentenced to death that were less than 18 years old. Like these are
Mhm.
kids. How are you doing death penalty? And that was really rampant in the 90s.
Yeah.
So,
The
you know,
super
led some
predators, all
campaigns.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. I was in California. So, um,
Mhm.
all of that three strike stuff. So I led
Mhm.
some campaigns around that. And, you know, it just like the deeper I got into it, it was just like, it just became my world. Like, you know, like we're not free and we got to get free really
Mhm.
became what I, you know, lived and breathed. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
that was my genesis as a kid.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Big fiery 14-year-old out there making it happen. We love to see
Right. It's
it.
always the youth.
It's
I
always
love
gonna
that
be the
so
youth too.
much. How
Yeah.
clear that was for you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just in my blood too.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
Yeah.
it's like one of those things, just won't leave me alone. It's like ancestors just be like, girl, there's more to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Mhm.
can't just, okay. All right. I'm gonna keep going.
But the fact that you listen also is
Right.
important.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thing to note. Can
Mhm.
you tell us a little bit about this is where you were, and now
Mhm.
you're this midwife of how many years now and how many babies have you caught?
Mhm.
I think I've stopped counting babies, but people keep telling me, I know you gotta count.
Yeah.
Um, Years. Okay, so 2013, well, 2007 is when I started as an apprentice.
Mm.
Mhm.
2013 is when I got my license. So I went through apprenticeship and school and all of that stuff. And then I got my license in 2013.
Yeah.
So how many years is that? 12 years? 12 and a half years.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
just about.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so you
Yeah.
stopped counting, so you're upwards of like
I think I stopped counting after like 300.
okay,
Oh
okay.
wow.
So we're,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now where does
absolutely.
Sam fall in that?
number, let me get my records. Number 200.
That's
So what
awesome.
I guess what brought you to the road of like reproductive justice and Southern Birth Justice Network?
Yeah, so reproductive justice. I definitely don't think that I had a sense of my body or my rights or autonomy or anything like that growing up.
Mhm.
It was really I had the sense of like collective activism and what we need to be fighting. I remember when I was in college in Philly, going to a lot of free Mumia rallies and anti-police brutality, and the new Black Panther Party had formed and they were having a lot of community events, and I went to things like that, but I didn't connect it to like me and my body and like my human rights for me as a person. And I
Mhm.
think that really happened for me when I was pregnant with my first child. And then I had to really think about like, oh, like I'm in a body and this body has rights and this body deserves justice. And what does that
Mhm.
mean? Um, I didn't know what a midwife was when I was pregnant. I learned that from actually my doctor. I had a Black
Mm.
female doctor, and I would come in with so many questions for her, and most of them were about natural birth and breastfeeding. And you know, she was just like overwhelmed with my questions. She would look at my list and be like, "You can ask me like two things off that list." But there's a midwife down the hall who will probably
Ah,
answer all of your questions.
Nice.
wow, okay.
So I went down the hall,
Okay.
and I was probably about 20 weeks pregnant,
Mhm.
and found the midwife, and she did. She answered all my questions. She had a first thing I walked in, she had a couch in her office, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
are you a psychologist or are you, you know, a
Yeah.
midwife? Like, what's going on here?
Well.
Mm,
Um, she had a yoga mat on the floor, couch in the office, and
Hmm.
was just like, yes, I'd love to answer all your questions. And I was like, oh, this is different.
mm,
So it was really what I needed. I learned a lot from her, and she stayed with me through, throughout the whole pregnancy, never left my side for the birth, and it was a great experience. I really struggled postpartum. I
mm,
struggled a lot with breastfeeding. I struggled a lot with what what am I supposed to do with this kid? Like,
mm,
you mean all the time? Like, I'm like, there's this baby here and it's here all the time.
mm.
Like, what? Who said this was okay? Like, who thought this was a good idea? I don't think it really hits you until you're in it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no break from this. Like,
That's it.
I was a
Yeah.
single mom.
Yeah.
Mm,
There, it was me, 24 hours a day. I was like, wait,
Mhm.
what? Um, and so yeah, there was a lot that came to light for me, and I still got really interested in women's health. I connected with other young mothers and realized, like, oh, we have a fight here. Like, we have, things that we need to advocate for and that we need
mm,
to say and that we need to be heard. Um, like postpartum leave after having a baby. And at that time, the lactation laws were insane. Like,
mm.
you couldn't breastfeed if you went back to work. Like, there was nothing to protect that.
What?
Um, yeah, yeah.
How does that
It
even
was
relate
actually
to
Obama
some of
that
that?
signed that law. So it's fairly recent
Yes.
that you actually they have to give you some time to like pump your milk. But that wasn't a thing before.
Or
Wow.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't no space and there was no time.
Hmm.
So that's fairly recent. And so I learned that there was like a lot of laws that, didn't support mothering and parenting. And I learned about the mortality rates.
Mm,
First, I learned about the infant mortality rate, and then I learned about the maternal mortality rate. And I was like, wait a minute. You mean mamas and babies are dying and Black people are dying at these astronomically higher rates? Like, this
mm,
isn't okay.
mm,
So that's what really led me down that path. And to even learn what's a midwife, what's a doula, all of that was really through my own experiences. And when I tried to tie that to my activism, I was led to reproductive justice, right? But at that time, talking about early 2000s, the reproductive justice movement was just forming.
Hmm.
mhm.
It was really still largely a reproductive rights movement,
Okay.
and it was mostly centered around abortion,
Mm,
which is I was like, yeah, that's important. And there's also people who have children, which is also a human right that need to have advocates too. And so for me, being involved in reproductive justice in the beginning was like, oh, this is an answer because now we can be more holistic in our approach.
mm,
Um, but still, a lot of the funding at that time and a lot of the kind of movement organizers who had been involved, in reproductive rights for a long time, were really still very much focused on abortion. So I was
mm,
like, okay, we need to branch out that piece of reproductive justice because it's in there, right? It says the right to have children, but it wasn't focused on. And so I was like, need to branch that out. And how can I build a bridge between my activism, my mothering, and this desire that I have now to become a birth worker. And for me, that was the bridge that needed to be built. And that bridge is called birth justice. Um, so I started building that bridge around 2007. And and then I moved to Miami to go to midwifery school. And I found a community here of birth workers of color or students that were, people that were trying to go down that path. And we realized, like, oh, we're facing a lot of the same issues. Let's unite.
mm,
Yeah.
Um, and we wrote the birth justice framework in 2010. So we was like the mission was like to educate people that this is even a thing. Because back then it
mm.
was like, wait, Black women are dying?
Right.
Like nobody knew. Um,
Yeah.
so even the awareness raising piece was really a lot of the work in the first decade of that movement. So birth justice as a framework was
Yeah.
definitely born in Miami. We wrote the framework So I was working at Power Youth Center for Social Change, and we had a program called Powerful Women and Families. I was the first organizer in that program. So I helped to create that program. And we were primarily organizing unhoused mothers in Overtown. And one of our partners was Lotus House. And so we were teaching free childbirth education classes at Lotus House. At that time, Power You had an office in Overtown. And so we would go to Lotus House and pick up the pregnant folks there and bring them over to Power U and do the class. And one of the things that we kept asking in the class was, what does it mean to birth with justice? And we just collected answers. We just like collected the answers that people said, and we built that into the birth justice framework. Um, and so, literally, Overtown is the birthplace of birth justice. And then we took that framework, we created, a popular education workshop, and we taught the first birth justice workshop in Detroit at the U.S. Social Forum, the United States Social Forum, in June 2010. That was the first birth justice workshop. And then from there, we taught it all over the country, like anybody that would listen, all over Miami, all over Florida, all over the South, all over the US, and even internationally. So I always say I've been spreading the gospel of birth justice since 2010. But yeah, the birthplace is here in Miami. I'm very proud of that. So what we do teach is that the foundation of birth justice is Black midwifery. And the reason that we can say that very like confidently is because Black midwives birthed America, right? And so in the 1800s, 50% of all births in the US were Black midwives, and 90% of births in the South were done by Black midwives. So Black midwives birthed America.
Yeah.
And so that labor is really important to recognize. That legacy is really important to preserve. And that is, the foundation of birth justice because around, in the late 1800s, there was a campaign by the American Medical Association to discredit Black midwives and to paint them as being, dirty and educated and all these things because they had developed this profession of obstetrics and gynecology, which was founded on the bodies of Black women. We know about Anarcha, Betsy, and Lucy, who were tortured by J. Marion Sims, who's considered the founding father of gynecology. And so they had this, this shiny new profession and all these torture tools that many of them they still use, the stirrups and the speculums and all the things. And they wanted to try that out primarily on white women, but white women trusted the Black midwives. That's who they had been primarily birthing with. And so they had to discredit the Black midwives in order to get white women to say, to move into hospitals. So it was a totally smear campaign. And that went on for decades. And then in 1921, it led to the passage of the Shepard-Towner Act, which required a nursing degree now to become a midwife instead of the apprenticeship community education pathway that had been in place for so long. I mean, literally since the beginning of time. And so that after 1921 was like, you have to become a nurse first to become a midwife. And so states began passing laws outlining what we call direct entry or lay midwifery, which is the community trained midwives. They started outlawing it. And it was, particularly a problem for Black folks because there weren't many nursing schools in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s where you could go to become a nurse and then go advanced training as a midwife. So as they phased out midwives, it pushed birth into the hospitals because people didn't have any option. They basically decimated midwifery by requiring this nursing degree. So where you had thousands, I mean, in the early 1900s, there were 4,000 midwives registered with the state of Florida, and the majority of them were Black. Like 98% of them were Black, overwhelming majority. And then fast forward a few decades, I mean, even to now, there are about 190 midwives registered with the state. and 10% are Black.
Yeah.
So that's what they did to midwifery.
Mm.
Um, so that
Yeah.
didn't start in Florida, but Florida is definitely part of the story.
Can you say more about, because you're saying midwifery is traditionally something that's passed down from
Yeah.
apprentice to mentor. There's, through my work through you, I've learned a whole lot about just that continuous
Mm.
lineage. And I think that I think is one of the most special things that I think that I've gotten to witness, and just like your work to ensure that we're not forgetting and that we're archiving the legacy of grand midwives and just like their connection and how far back it goes. Can you say more about
Mm.
what that legacy is, like how you think about it? Like I feel like it's just such a big piece of what I think makes Black midwives so magical.
Mm.
So can we talk about your work and highlighting that?
I mean, okay, let's go.
You you did amazing, amazing project, Sam. This
Mm.
amazing project, the Black Midwives Timeline,
Oh, okay.
which is, have you seen it? Have you
No, I
seen
haven't. She ain't
it?
even tell me nothing about it. Ugh.
Actually,
Yeah.
both of y'all are on this project, right? So it's the Birthplace of
Yes.
Origin
Yes.
Yeah.
project. So
Right.
BK, you and I recorded the meditations together that are there. And
Mhm.
Sam, I mean, this has been what, 3 years now? You worked on the Black
It's
Midwives
been
Timeline.
a while. It's a couple of, actually, yeah, 3 years, because the
Right.
memory of when I was working on it came up on my phone the other day, actually. Yeah. Kim and I went on this was like a full on research project,
Okay.
Yep.
where we were checking, double checking, triple checking all of our sources, making sure everything, we crossed our T's, dotted our I's, and just made sure that everything was just so beautifully packaged for you all. Because this was actually to honor the grand midwives
Yes.
Mm.
originally, but we wanted to present it in a way where it was a timeline, just kind of giving them their and presenting them their history, and like, here's the things that you come from, and here's your work here, and here's your impact, etc. And
And
I
the grand midwives are the like main.
so yeah, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Grand
Jamarah.
midwives. The grand midwives are, well, so there's different levels, right? So there's like the ancestral grand midwives, which are,
Mhm.
were, I think, during slavery times known as the grannies.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
and like in popular culture, a portrayal might be like like Hattie McDaniel's, the Black woman who played in Gone with the Wind, right? It was the first Black
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
woman to win an Academy Award.
Mm-hmm.
But like that would be the portrayal of how people would think of the
I
granny
see.
midwives, right? Like they lived on the
Mhm.
plantation, they caught all the babies, they nursed the babies, they worked in the big house, and that's kind of the familiar portrayal. But oftentimes they were the backbone of communities, right? They were the healers. They knew about the plant medicine. They helped people with all different types of phases of reproductive health and family medicine and taking care of babies and all the things. And even were like the social workers and the marriage counselors and all the things. So those grand midwives weren't just midwives, they were like these community pillars.
Mhm.
And so that's part of the honoring, right, is honoring that legacy. And then when they tried to phase out midwifery, as I explained, there was this resurgence that happened.
Mm-hmm.
um, this Black Power generation of
Right.
midwives that
Mm.
kind of reclaimed it and was like, no, we're not letting this go. I don't care if you
Right.
say it's legal or not. We'll practice underground.
Right.
Um, and that was actually how I started, was apprenticing with an underground midwife in Georgia. But that in the 70s and 80s, they were like reclaiming this. They were like, no, we're not gonna let this die. And because they had literally forcibly retired all of the grand midwives.
Wow.
So now those women who were young in the 70s and 80s and reclaimed this tradition, they are now grand midwives. So now we have a generation of grand midwives who are in their 70s and 80s who've been doing this for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, some of them. Um, And that's just amazing too, right? So
Mm.
the grand midwives that Sam was referring to, we honored them during a ceremony that we had, which really now we've turned into a national holiday, Black Midwives Day. But the kickoff really was this Black Herstory project, and Sam did this Black Midwife Herstory timeline with another member of our team, Kim Banton, two brilliant, brilliant minds who just, I mean, I remember y'all being up like all night, like taking care of babies. I'm gonna go make dinner real quick and I'm gonna come back and work on this. And, you put together all these graphics. I mean, you have to see this timeline. So
Right.
please share it when you share this episode, so people can click on the link and see Sam's amazing work. But yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
the timeline is just incredible. But yeah, we wanted to honor those grand midwives, and part of that was that project. And then
Mhm.
the next level of that was, well, y'all need a national holiday. So we established March 14th as Black Midwives Day,
Okay.
officially celebrated. I believe it's recognized in 8 states, and has been recognized by um, not Congress, but by Congress people,
Okay.
if we give any credit to that.
Right. Yeah.
But certainly recognized in community. We got a proclamation by the city of Atlanta last year. So Black Midwives Day is on the rise, honey. Mark your
Let's
calendars, March
go.
14th.
March 14th.
That's
Let's
right. And that's also your
go.
birthday, right? Am I?
No, it's not my birthday.
It's not your birthday. Okay. 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 Just kidding.
It's
I
not
was
my
gonna
birthday,
say.
but it is. I chose that date because it is the day that the Miami City of Miami gave me a Trailblazer Award a
Oh.
few years ago. And when I got the award, I said in my speech that this award is not just for me; it's for Black midwives everywhere.
Mm.
And so after that, they tried to turn it into Jamarah Amani Day, and I was like, no, it's not Jamarah Amani Day. It is Black Midwives Day. So yes, that's how we got that day.
We could put that in parentheses, though. Just.
I don't need a day.
She's
I
like,
don't
nah.
need a day, but Black midwives need a day for
No,
sure.
definitely for sure. I'm here for the Black Midwives Day as well. That's awesome. So I do want to talk a little bit more, because you mentioned the birth justice origins and how we're all kind of connected through that project. Can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit more about how your creativity shows up in the different ways that you do the work?
Oh, yes. I love talking about that. So I have all these dreams, right? I have all these creative dreams. I love this question. So I talked about like my activism as a young person,
Mhm.
but I was also a theater kid.
Come on,
Um,
TK, TK.
yeah, I was a theater kid. So my first play that I remember being in, I was 8 years old. And I got bit by that theater bug. And
Yes.
after that, I was just always in a show. I was just always
Mm,
in a show.
I love that.
I was either, rehearsing, auditioning, performing, getting ready to do the next one. I did theater camps.
Mm,
I did traveling shows. I did it all through college. Even after my first two children, I kept going. After I had my third child, I was like, okay, I'm tired. And I had, really gotten into midwife work by that point. And so I've worked with lots of different programs too. Like I worked with this incredible program called Playmaking for Girls in Atlanta that we went to the juvenile detention centers, what they call
mm,
them,
mm,
and worked with the young women there to tell their stories, and turn their stories into either monologues or short plays. So
mm,
I love, this art of storytelling, and that's part of the mission of Southern Birth Justice Network, is that we build the birth justice movement through telling our stories. And that's part of popular education. It's part of how we organize folks to create spaces for storytelling. So I have this dream of doing the birth monologues, which is another thing that Sam and I had dreamed about. And I feel like it's going to make a comeback. I really, really do.
I have a good
Um,
feeling about it too. I do.
I really feel like this is going to happen next year. So let's put some good energy out
Yeah,
there for the
yeah,
birth monologues to be a thing.
I'm here for that.
But we have been doing story collecting projects at SBJN, partnered with y'all to do story collecting in our RV as part of the mobile midwife, outreach program. And I love those types of partnerships where we're bringing in, artivism and health and justice work into one blend,
Mhm.
because really that's what it's all about, right? To just be creating, our dreams, to be creating our future, to be birthing our future. And so much of that happens through art.
Mhm.
So, you know, 20 plus years of theater, lots
Mhm.
of years as a spoken word artist too. So that
Mhm.
just blends into so many things that I do, whether it's public speaking, leading meditations as part of childbirth classes. There's always this like artistic thing that happens where it's like, it can't be boring.
Right.
Like, it can't be boring.
It
Like,
just
one
makes
thing
sense.
for sure,
Yeah,
it
Hmm.
can't
definitely.
be boring. Because
Yeah,
what are we doing if we're
Right.
being boring people?
right.
That's not
If we're not
liberation.
having fun,
Not
right.
Right.
liberation, because mine needs to
You
have
gotta
some joy
play.
in there. Yes.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
awesome. Oh man, I love
So,
that you have the theater background. Um, because us theater kids got to stick together.
Yes, right? For real. People don't
Part
understand
life
us.
out there. Yes.
People don't
I
understand that.
know I'm about to stick Aggie in musical theater, which is really
Oh,
funny.
happy
I'm very
birthday.
excited. She's
That
yeah,
So good.
yeah. It
she
makes
she
sense
can't
for her.
listen. She came in the world performing, okay?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yes,
yeah. Oh,
yes.
talk about it. I don't know this part of the story. Talk about it.
She came in the world and was like, I need a parade.
Right.
I need an audience. The audience in this room is not big enough. I need more people to see me.
Yes.
That was how she came into it. That's all I'm gonna say.
As Jamarah said, she was like, she watched Aggie choose. She's like, all right, I guess I'm ready now.
Yeah. There's enough people here. I will appear. I will bring my spirit
My
forth.
audience
Right.
has arrived. Thank
I
you.
love her, and I'm so
Basically.
excited for her.
Yes,
Yes, me
yes.
too. I can't wait to see that. That's gonna just take her energy up a notch, I believe,
I
because she's
think so.
already
Because she's
there.
gonna find her people.
Oh
She's like,
yeah.
oh, we
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, we do this
Yes.
all the time? Oh, great.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how it is in my house too. It's like there's
Oh,
always a musical on. We are singing. I'm a theater kid who raised theater kids.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So that's just the fun
Uh,
of it.
Big love
yeah.
to my fave Maharo.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, my baby girl. She's definitely a performer.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I had a beautiful time teaching and growing with her. So, just,
Mm,
Yeah. And Micah, of course,
yeah.
already.
oh,
Of
yes.
Yes. Making
extraordinaire
films, making
musician, right?
music,
All the things.
all the things.
Our
Yes.
Yes.
storytellers are coming up. Thanks
Yeah,
to
and now
Right.
my third child, Nalu, she is now doing, what is she doing now? Culture dance. She did Alvinelli this summer.
Oh, fun.
Um
Oh.
and she's also in chorus. So she's also just really finding her way. She did the Wiz last year.
Oh,
Um
cool.
it's so fun to just see them like come into their fullness and
Mhm.
be supported in doing that. It's just like
Yeah.
finding their voice, finding their path. It's very fun, even though it's like a scary world. You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
like I pray all the time. Like I wish I could be giving my children a better world,
Yeah.
but they are making it better just by being in it and being themselves.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you mentioned Southern Birth Justice and how one of your pillars is just to tell stories, to be able to do your work through storytelling. Can you tell us a little bit more about Southern Birth Justice Network, where it came from, how it got started? You mentioned an RV. I know there's like a little bit of that in this origin story as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Sure. So, Southern Birth Justice Network is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization based here in Miami, Florida. It really has been around since before, like, I became connected to it. It was founded by my mentor, Ada Becky Sprouse. She's an indigenous Nicaraguan midwife and served the Miami community for many, many years. And she had a dream of providing free midwifery care to migrant families and uninsured people. So she bought an RV and she was delivering free midwifery care in the Homestead area. And then when she found out about the work that I was doing with another sister named Anjali in Overtown that I spoke about earlier, she was like, "Oh, you all should have this organization because this will be the vehicle to do this birth justice work." and she, gracefully handed us the organization. She did pass away from cancer a few years back, but her legacy really lives on. And before she passed, she told me she was like super proud of what we're doing. We're still doing mobile midwife clinic. We have an RV. We're actually getting ready to expand and
Oh,
have the dream of having a fleet of
let's
mobile
go, fleet.
midwife birth justice vehicles. Is coming true. We also just recently purchased a building in North Miami, and we will be opening Miami's first nonprofit birth center next year. So, yeah,
That's so
a lot of
amazing.
things are happening. And the movement building aspect. I mean, the direct service is super important because it's important to meet people where they are and to meet the conditions that people need. But also, this movement building aspect is super important to the work at SBJN. So, workforce development, we train doulas, as you mentioned. Um, we also do legislative work. So we do Birth Justice Day at the Capitol. So we can go and get in these legislators' faces and thank them for supporting us and everything that we do and tell them what their job is to continue to
That.
support us and remind them who we are
Mm-hmm.
um, and why, it's so important. Like our first piece of legislation that we advocated around was the anti-shackling bill in Florida. So shackling is, when um, pregnant people are put in chains in facilities like jails and prisons, or even sometimes chained to beds when they give birth. Um, and when I found out that was a thing, I was like, oh, are we still like in slavery times? Like, what is
Right.
happening? And at that time, this was like around 2010 when we started advocating around that, 2011 maybe. There was, shackling was like perfectly legal in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so we worked with ACLU. We built a coalition of 34 organizations to help, raise awareness and educate legislators about why this is important. It actually ended up being a bipartisan effort because, like, if y'all are for babies and health of mothers and babies, like, it shouldn't matter which party you're in. And so it did pass. So, shackling is illegal in Florida. They're not supposed to do it. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but
Right.
they're not supposed to do it in jails and prisons anymore. So that was the first piece that we worked on. Since then, we've worked on lots of things like the Dignity for Incarcerated Women Act, the Ava's Law, Tammy Jackson Act, um, as well as pushing back against the abortion restrictions. So that piece of the work is really important to me because it helps to protect that change work for future generations that can hopefully help improve the condition. So direct services to meet the needs of people, workforce development to make sure that there's still providers, in the next few years. So for example, we have 5 student midwives on our staff right now, and they're all Black and brown, and that's super important because I can tell you 10 years, 15 years ago, I couldn't name 5 Black and brown student midwives. So you can see that the movement is growing and the workforce is developing, and we're playing a role with that. Um, and then this visioning work, this cultural work as well. We also should sit at a lot of national tables um, and try to be active in federal legislation too. And our international work takes us to East Africa, to Kenya and Tanzania, where we are working with now 4 centers in Kenya and Tanzania to bring supplies, to cross train. We do a cultural midwifery exchange. So the idea is building a bridge between Black birth workers in the US and Black birth workers in East Africa. So that's like a little breakdown summary of some of the things that we do.
That's
Some of the things.
incredible.
Oh my gosh, all of the things. That sounds amazing. I
Yeah.
didn't know about a lot of that, so that's really, really beautiful where it comes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I do it with an amazing team.
Mhm.
It's definitely not just me.
Yes.
I don't know how this alignment keeps happening where just like the most amazing people come to SBJN. But it's really beautiful to witness and to see
Mhm.
people come into their leadership, and that they develop as leaders at SBJN
Mhm.
is just an incredible part of what we do as well. Yeah.
I think you have to give yourself some credit there. I feel like
Yes.
I've witnessed you like pulling us in, like,
Mm.
oh, what can you do? Like, cool, come, come with me. Like,
You have a
let me show
talent.
you. Like, yes, like let's work together. Let's do this. Let's. So I
Mhm.
think your willingness to I think even just the fact that you're a theater kid and understand collaboration,
Mm.
like deep collaboration in that way, I think probably gives way to a lot of what I've witnessed you do and like how you've pulled me in and like, what can you do? Like, great, come, do this, do that, do that. I think that's, one, it's been fun, it's been so meaningful, it's been so many things, but I think that yeah, just like working with the entire team, just like watching everybody work and watching everybody just like pour from their hearts is really dope. And it really shows how much everybody cares. And this is not the kind of thing where people are like, oh, this is just a paycheck. It's like, no, people really care. And it truly, truly, truly shows. And with everything that you spelled out, I think for sure it
Thank
shines
you.
through. Yeah, of
That's
course.
for sure. Like this work is heart work.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That is something that we are consistently reminded of. This is
Mhm.
hard work, and it's so important to keep the heart in it, the compassion, the
Hmm.
empathy, the centering of humanity,
Mhm.
centering of marginalized people,
Mhm.
being anti-oppression and pro-liberation,
Mhm.
um, like those values, our
Mhm.
values of decolonization and healing and community and celebration is one of our values at SBJN. Those values are really the guideposts that help us to know, like, are we actualizing our mission, um, and which direction, strategic direction we should go in. But that
Mhm.
heart piece is, I think, the most critical.
Mhm.
And that really comes from the community, the community reflecting that back to us. One thing I know about birth work is that it is about reciprocity.
Mhm.
So almost every time there's a birth, a family that I connect with, there is some form of reciprocity. There's either a gift, or they come back and bring the baby, or they send me baby pictures, or even if it's like a loss, right? If they had a miscarriage or something like that, they come back and they're like, volunteering or wanting to help other women. And, many of them become doulas or support the organization in other ways. And so it is just this constantly giving circle,
Mhm.
which is what I love about birth justice, right? It's not like everyone needs to have a baby or, we all have to um, become pregnant or engage with birth in that way. It's not even everyone needs to catch babies, right? It's just the
Mhm.
idea that we are futuring, like we are thinking about the future. We are thinking about how the world that we are creating for future generations, and that really is at the heart of birth justice. Is like we all deserve a future of liberation, and so we're willing to work towards that. And the initiation of that for everyone is birth. Like we all got here that way. We were all born. Um, so that's a lot of times when I'm starting my workshop, that's how I say, if you weren't born, you're not in the right place. Otherwise, you need to be here. We were all born. So all of us are affected by these issues, whether we give birth or not. It's something that we should care about and, be a part of the movement for birth justice.
Ashe,
I love
ashe.
that.
Shay.
Yes, yes. That awkward moment when the alien walks out of the workshop, like, I'm in the wrong place.
I wasn't born, I was hatched.
Oh man,
I haven't experienced that yet, but you're right. It's probably coming.
it's coming soon. They're prepping us for it.
Right.
Oh man, sorry, Sam. I interrupted you. I just had to get that
No,
in
you're totally
right
fine. No worries.
there.
And I totally think that should be part of the birth monologues. Like the
Yes.
alien is like, I wasn't born. I was hatched.
I don't have a belly button. Like, wait.
I have a tail and 6 fingers. Ugh. Oh
I
no.
love it.
Um, so one of the things that we do here at Atala Dispatch is that we're connecting the South and the Caribbean, and just like that internationalism, and just like ensuring that all of these tendrils are solid and connected, and that we're continuously connecting with folks that are not just here within our region, but that we understand and see ourselves mirrored in other people's struggles. So I really love that y'all are going out to East Africa, to make that connection and those exchanges of midwives and the exchange of knowledge and wisdom. Um, can you say more about like how important that's been and how that's enriched, the lives and knowledge base of the folks around you that come with you?
Absolutely. So when I was a student midwife, I took a trip to Haiti, and that was in, what's the earthquake? So that was in 2010.
2010.
Yeah. So it was the end of 2010. So I think the earthquake was like earlier in the year, and I went around December. So it had been maybe like 9 or 10 months since the earthquake. And the type of community that I saw there, I was in Jacmel, people supporting each other, people literally building new structures out of rubble, people sharing food, um, people like taking care of each other's children. um, it just inspired me so much. And it also made me feel like, oh, I have a really deep responsibility, particularly as an African person in America, right? From this lineage of people who always found a way to survive oppression and to fight back. My family's from the Deep South, from Louisiana on my mother's side, and from Mississippi on my father's side.
Mm,
So, there's that long legacy of that too. It's like, um, of this survival, and that survival comes from family and community, and you know how we bind together when there's not a lot of resources, and how that binding together is part of the story of how we make it through.
mm,
Um, so I really learned a lot about how that happens in the global South when
mm,
I went to Haiti for the first time. I had also already been to Rwanda and South Africa and Jamaica, and seen it there as well. But when I went to Jacmel, because it was like the same year that the earthquake happened, it was just so salient. Like it was just so obvious. And I was like, oh, we really need to, create more connection, because like I said, we have a responsibility as being, in the belly of the beast here in the US, but also through that connection is part of like how we create this global movement, and our voices are louder and more connected, and we can amplify each other's struggles. And when we find that connection, we also don't feel like we're a minority, because they be trying to tell us we're minorities. And it's like, y'all lying. Y'all are out here
mm.
telling whole lies. Like, we are the global majority.
The projections for me,
And it's from going to places
Right.
like, across Africa and across the Caribbean, that I'm like, oh, like we are the majority. And to be in places where that's actually very evident, like visibly
Mm,
evident, is a sense has a sense of power to it too.
mm,
So all of that really just like motivated me to continue doing global work, and to be part of, building an international movement for birth justice.
mm,
Um, where I've been to the United Nations to speak out about the decimation of Black midwifery. And when I went, I was also speaking with an Indigenous midwife who was saying similar things happened in her community. Um, and we can't forget, like, we're on to Cuesta lands here, and there were
mhm,
midwives of those people that were also pushed out and slaughtered, and told that they couldn't practice. And the regulations that even exist on reservations about how people can give birth, and you can't use your own traditional practices. Like it's, and there was just a whole big fight in Hawaii around traditional midwifery and them trying to outlaw it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just all these, if you look around the world, like I said earlier, midwives are told not to do what we do. You're dangerous. You don't have enough education. You are this, and that. It needs to be controlled by, these by men. Um, and we have to stand up and say, like, that's not true. And I think, I just have this like vision of linking arms, across oceans. And it's also, that's part of, for me, reclaiming what has been lost,
Mm.
in terms of my ancestors being dragged across that ocean. And every time I stand by the Atlantic Ocean, I hear, those whispers, those echoes of their voices. And so, how do we heal that? We heal that by reconnecting those broken pieces to make ourselves whole.
Mm. Oh yeah, I should.
Ashe.
Gotta receive that. Thank you.
Yeah, I need to let that just sink in for a second. That was it's a real word. Hmm. Wow. Thank you so much, Jamarah, for all the work that you've done up until now, and God willing for the future that is in your brain that we can help push out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, you
Um,
recorded that Birth Justice Futures meditation
yeah.
with me, so you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
be
yeah.
knowing.
It's good. It's good. I'm here for it. I'm glad I have that. 'Cause I'm like, I get to have the little behind the scenes one. Yeah. It's real.
Um, we have to talk about National Black Midwives
Oh
Alliance.
my gosh.
Mm,
Yes.
Um, why is it important for a National Black Midwives Alliance to exist today?
mm.
And what are some of the things that you all are focusing on right now?
Okay, well, I can proudly say that National Black Midwives Alliance is no longer a part of Southern Birth Justice Network. And I'm
Okay.
super proud of that. We spent 7 years incubating NBMA, National Black Midwives Alliance, within SBJN. And the goal was always to birth it out into the world. It was a very
Mm.
long pregnancy, midwife metaphors. um, and so in January of this year, NBMA officially became its own 501c6 organization. It's a membership
Oh.
based organization, and they incorporated in Virginia. It's a 500 member organization that is comprised of Black midwives from all over the country, as well as, I think, roughly 45 to 50% of the membership are Black student midwives. So, literally, the future of midwifery.
Yeah.
Um, and there have been programs like mentorship program, educational webinars, and a scholarship campaign to support midwifery. And the way I think about it is that we have to literally rebuild ourselves because of, the decimation of Black midwives. It is a brick by brick, And interesting thing when I think about Black midwives is that, like I said, 50% of births in the US happened in the hands of Black midwives. And most of the babies that they caught weren't Black.
Mm.
Like Black midwives served everybody. Black midwives elevated the health of the nation.
Mm.
Most communities that had their midwives, like I mentioned, Indigenous midwives, there were some like, the white mountain midwives and Amish and, every community kind of had their own midwives. The thing about Black midwives is they were everybody's midwives.
Mm.
So, thinking about the question of why National Black Midwives is important today, is because if we can restore Black midwifery, then we can raise the standard of maternal health
Mm.
in the United States for everyone. And the Black midwives model of care works best for Black people, but it actually works for everyone because it has
Mm.
things in there like holistic health and community and respecting different family structures and honoring heritage and being in solidarity and autonomy. Those things work for everyone. Those things work for everyone. So when we raise Black birthing people, we raise everyone. And that's what Black midwives do.
Mm.
And there's
Yeah.
that lesson again.
There it
If we
is.
pull up the least, the folks
Yeah.
that are most marginalized, then we all
Everyone will
benefit.
rise. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. I have another question for you. This episode is our final episode after 2 seasons of doing Atala Dispatch. And we are focusing, and it is themed around the idea of a memory palace, which is essentially a tool for remembering. It's a familiar place to you, but it's
Mm.
something where if you walk through, imagine the house that you grew up in, for example, and remember what the doorknob felt like. And maybe that's something that triggers you to remember something. And in your mind, you walk through and maybe you see a specific picture frame, and that's going to trigger another way for you to remember another thing.
Mm.
And we've been asking organizers from all over the country about their lineages and their where they have come from, where what has brought them to where they are today. And I think after all of those conversations, I really would like for us to give folks a tool to remember,
Mm.
because it's really nice to hear all these stories and it's really inspiring in the moment, but I need folks to remember. So my question to you is, what are the things that you hope people remember about birth justice, about um, Black midwifery, about anything that you've said or haven't said, anything that maybe we haven't asked you about? What would you like folks to remember?
Mm. Well, I'm just getting over that this is you said final season or
Yeah,
final
well,
episode?
Season
season 2 for
finale,
Miami Community Radio.
and then we'll see what comes
We'll
next,
see
but we
where
don't
what happens
know.
in the future. We don't
Yeah.
know yet.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Thank you.
I was like, oh, news. Okay. Tea. Um, so okay. What I want folks to remember. So there's two things that kind of came to the top of my mind. Which is the first one is that the most available healing and grounding tool to you is always going to be your breath.
you.
Um, and every time I say breath, I breathe a little deeper. So that just to remember to stay connected with your breath.
Mm. Mhm.
And the second one is that the central theme of birth justice that I think people forget. I think we forget sometimes if we go into healthcare settings, places where we maybe don't feel as powerful because the way things are set up are meant to make you feel less powerful. But
Mhm.
please always remember that your body is always yours and you never have to surrender it to a system that was designed to destroy you.
Mhm. A powerful way to close out a season. Okay, I'm here for that. Thank you so much, Jamarah. That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Mm.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you and congrats to y'all. Amazing.
Thank
We
Thanks
you.
for
did.
Yeah,
including me in your finale.
of
Listen,
course.
we've
You
been
were
trying to
on our
get you
list from day
on
one.
for real. Like we had you for the first season. It's like, no, it didn't work out first season. Second season, like, yes, we have to have her.
We
What
got
which show is
Aw,
it? Which one?
yes.
So
beautiful.
thank you.
The
Thank you for making the
timing.
time. Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad
Yes.
it worked out.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And we
And
back. So big love to Jamarah, Amani over at Southern Birth Justice Network. Please follow them on all of the socials and get to know that beautiful organization and the work that they're
Yes.
doing.
And National Black Midwives Alliance. And
Yes.
of course, follow the journey of the Purple Balloon
Oh yeah.
documentary. All of the things that we talked about. Thank you again, Jamarah,
Hmm.
for joining us. And shout out to all of her babies who we love
Yes.
so very much.
Especially the ones in the space that she birthed here
Yes,
with us
many,
today.
many.
So we're gonna be closing out soon, but we wanted to take a moment to talk to some beloved community members
Yes.
that came to watch the final show with us live and in person. So we have with us Inez Barlatier,
Yes.
local Haitian artist. You've heard some of her music on our show. First
Yes.
season, we played clips from Moon. That was her first
Moon
album. Yes. And then, of course, we couldn't say goodbye to you all without saying goodbye to our biggest lover and supporter, and who actually helped us get here, who brought us to Highlander, and who is always just uplifting us and making sure that we know how great and beautiful and just fabulous we are, because she is, and she recognizes that. So please welcome.
Speaking of mirrors.
Right. Please welcome Emma Kaja Robinson from the
Yes.
Highlander team.
Check.
Oh, yeah.
Real bad.
Yes,
There you go.
yes.
Okay, we got some power.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, thank y'all for coming, especially coming in from New Orleans. We really
Yes.
appreciate that. Though, we're not the only reason that you're here, so we get that. But, we're just glad to have you.
Literally
Yeah.
came in.
Oh, literally. Oh, I
Came
thought you were
in
here.
fresh.
Tomorrow at
Well, let
5
me
a.m.
back that up.
Yeah.
We are so honored that you decided to travel in to come specifically to be on the show today.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
love that. We love that. That is so
Yes.
special. So thank you so much, Emma. For this closeout conversation, we really just wanted to. I'm sorry, Fred. I'm sorry. Okay, I got you. We really just wanted to talk more about just reflections on culture making, what it looks like to use memory through culture as a remembering to ourselves. And yeah, just kind of reflecting on, what art and culture really means for us during this time. All of us here are artists in our own right. So yeah, we just wanted to take a moment to kind of explore your brains. Don't do that. You are. Explore your brains a little bit, and just kind of expound on this question of like art and culture during this time, and why it's so important for us as creators to lead the charge in that. So whoever
Absolutely.
wants to start first.
I think the actual artist should start.
All right, so I'll speak to that. I am an I am an artist. I am a singer-songwriter. I'm an actress. I'm a children's artist. So I create music for all types of people, but I have a focus. Yeah, but I have a focus on children's music. Why? Because I feel that as a child, I learned so much about the world, and I had a lot of questions. And now being a children's artist, I get to go back to myself and see what I would have wanted to learn when I was a child.
Yeah.
And why that's important when it comes to culture making is that I feel that if my music can impact young children to self-actualize, to explore, to have curiosity about who they are, where they come from, it will lead to a culture of self-love, a culture of connection, and a culture of people who grow up knowing who they are, not learning that when I was 21 and now, and having to self-educate myself. But if I can do that with music, if I can have a way for children to explore, what does it mean to be Haitian or Pan-African? Or what does it mean that people are Taino in Puerto Rico, Cuba, Bahamas, Jamaica, Haiti? What does that mean in my blood? What does that mean that the drum is in every kind of music? Where did the drum come from? How does that connect us? What does it mean that a lot of us like rice and beans? You know, what does it mean for us to have the same kind of plants that we use in our food, our dances, our patterns? How does a dance from Africa travel to reggaeton, travel to compa, travel to Afro beats? And so I feel that in art, for all the time, I mean, how I learned who I am is with the art and the culture and the language of my culture. Haiti, raise up.
Hey.
But being Haitian, I learned from my culture. I learned who I am from my culture. I didn't love who I was growing up. I was teased for being dark skinned. I was teased for being a natural headed person. I grew up in the 90s where black was beautiful, but it wasn't as beautiful as embraced as it is now. Logs weren't embraced back then. So had I had someone who looked like me on the screen singing songs of love, like just loving yourself, I wouldn't have gone through self-hate, and I wouldn't have gone through not loving myself until I was 21, until I learned culture.
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's powerful, Inez. Thank you so much. And I kind of want to touch a little bit on your lineage, right? Because you come from a family of musicians. So I think that kind of colored like your experience a little bit differently. Can you speak to like what it felt like growing up in a musician's family and how that helped you on your path as well?
So precisely, I didn't learn who I was through a book. I learned it through music from Haiti, folkloric music. I learned about Lion Congo. She's a black queen that never got conquered by the colonizers. I
Say that
learned
name again.
Lion Congo.
Hey.
Yeah. Queen of Congo. Never got so learning through songs, through music, I learned my language. You know, I grew up in America. I was born and raised in Miami, and I'm a first generation Haitian American. And through the music, growing up in a musical family, I learned what a Haitian drum is, what a drum is. Then my dad raised us to be African centered. So we listened to a lot of African music, a lot of Brazilian music. And in that, I saw examples of myself that were not in the books, that were not in school. So as I grew up, I had a little bit of who I was when I was growing up. Still, I dealt with the American things, like not growing up in a predominantly black country. So me being a dark-skinned woman, person, child, I was teased. And I used my culture to give myself self-confidence. Like I would go home and learn who I was, but at school I was still too black, too smart, too weird. But at home I got the support I needed to keep excelling.
Question: is this supposed to be like a conversation? Because I have been like,
Yeah, no, it can. It can.
Jump in.
Please jump in. I'm sorry.
like this is everything that you keep mentioning is making me think that there are two things that have really like popped out. First of all, the like focus on like children. Maxime Pierre from the Little River Cultural Garden, he always says like to plant a future is, or to plant a garden is to believe in the future. I think that that's like when you are like working with children are like gardens, because it's not gonna happen right now,
Right.
but like you invest in them because like you want to make sure that whatever person they are in 30 years, that person is touching the world in a beautiful way,
Right.
and like every act of kindness towards a child is in that like intention of like I want to make sure that when I'm gone, the world is still good with you in it. But then also, what do y'all have y'all heard the language of a heritage algorithm?
No.
Say more.
Okay, so
You always teaching us.
because I just learned this week. I was introduced to this concept by Ryan C. Clark,
Okay.
Dweller. But he was talking about it in terms of braiding hair, and it like also like quilting. Those
Okay.
being things that are like
Weaved into you.
heritage things we do across the diaspora.
Yes.
They're also incredibly technical. They're also a way to determine location, and so they are cartographical. But also they are things that are like ours. So the carnival is a heritage algorithm.
Right. Okay.
The plantain is a part of the heritage algorithm. The way we braid our hair is like in that, like there's so many things that we do, but that drum is a part of the algorithm. Like when you kept mentioning that, I was like, I think that when we have conversations about like the way that we as like black people across the diaspora like live and move, there's always those things that just keep popping up.
Persisting,
Like there's like, we know what the beauty supply does because we all go to the beauty supply. We know what the carnival does because we have to go to the second line. We got to go to the carnival. We have to engage in these like ritualistic practices. That's our algorithm. Like I think it's so like fascinating, but it's also like the porch,
Right.
Yes.
the backyard,
Yes.
the kitchen table.
Yes.
These
Or-
are all like pieces of like our like algorithm, and I love that language of algorithm because I think it also like communicates that something changes and something happens.
Yeah.
Right.
When we do our things, something happens.
Yeah.
Like I think that that's very like, yeah. So that is what like as soon as you started talking about the like intimacy of your relationship to not only the song, because the song is also that's our algorithm.
Yeah.
Like, and we have changed the way that music sounds because of
Yes.
how we have engaged with that algorithm.
Yeah.
At every step of the way.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So
Can
it's
you
like-
say more about that in relation to jazz? I know
Oh my
your father. was-
Yeah, my dad is a jazz musician, but I was also a jazz musician for
right.
like a cute decade.
Yeah.
And I think that that to me, like, it's algorithmic. My dad
Yes.
was playing Coltrane to my mom's belly. Like, there's some things that I'm never gonna be able to escape that are like
Yes.
literally woven into the tapestry of me before I knew that the tapestry even existed.
Right.
And so like there are pieces of music I think that like really bind me to my father specifically. Like if I hear Free by Denise Williams, there's no other person that I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna think about driving around in my dad's Jag with the windows down in the summer and him blasting Free and me drinking Slurpees.
Wow.
Nice.
And that's it. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
but I'm
that.
like there's to me that when you have musician family members, they give you something very, very special. Because,
Yeah.
like, my dad giving me jazz music was him giving me his machete.
Mm.
My mom
Yes.
giving me books was her giving me her machete. Like, my grandma teaching me how to cook was her giving me
Love
her
that.
Oh, I
machete.
love that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's very,
beautiful.
like, powerful when you're, like, your people in your ancestral, like, pool
Mm-hmm.
are
Yes.
already deeply engaged in making sure that you are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, Emma, thank you.
I love that reference to the
Mhm.
machete. That is my
yeah.
next tattoo. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Actually, same. Yeah. Can we
Yeah.
do that together?
maybe.
Oh.
I love that. No, because I was literally like, yeah, that's gonna be the next tat for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And just big love to you for bringing the language of like, did you say it again? The
Heritage algorithm.
heritage algorithm.
Yes.
Oh my God, you just unlocked something for me. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it's like it doesn't just show up like culturally, but diasporically.
Mhm.
Like there are different markers of like culture that still to this day exist. Like I
Yeah.
remember a Nigerian homeboy of mine was like, "Oh, did you know we have a word like homeboy?" I was like, "What do you mean y'all have a word like homeboy?" I don't remember what the word was, but he was like, "Yeah, we call this person that, and that's our homie. That's what that means." I was like,
Oh.
wow.
Yeah.
So there's so much underlying and overarching, like different little seeds that continue to prevail throughout culture for us to this day.
I think you are also like wearing one of the. So are you? Like one of the algorithms. No, just like part of the algorithm is adornment,
Ah.
specifically black hair. Yeah.
Yes.
Real.
But like,
And
if you
same
think
for
about it,
you,
when you
too.
look at your hair, it's like that's beautiful. Lock petals are so fucking
Oh, yeah.
difficult. Like,
Yeah, they
Yes.
are.
I've watched somebody do that, and I'm like, that's math.
Yeah.
That's tedious.
That's science.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
we're in STEM now.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean,
Yeah.
black hair care in and of itself can be considered its own like scientific process if
Yeah.
you want to
Oh,
really be
absolutely.
real about it. Like the way our hair manifests, transforms, and creates new forms. I'm just like, oh, we are magic.
No, I have more
Yes, no.
curl definition when I got here this morning.
Even
I
more.
really did.
Oh my god.
Like I did.
Oh well, yeah,
I had,
the humidity.
because I rolled it.
Right.
And then, that was really stupid.
The humidity gonna get you every time, friend. So sorry. It still looks good though.
Thank you. I was like, I still have like a puff. Like I got a shape. But I looked at myself when I was in there. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay though. It's okay. It's in its second phase, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Can you imagine us making that red clay
I
to put in our hair? That's right. I think about that
Yes.
too. It's like we always cared about our hair,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
all those shapes that we make with our frill back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about our ancestors in Africa. Like they
Yeah.
used to
Yeah,
make all
no,
these
yes.
But even
sculptural
still-
shapes.
Yeah.
to
Right.
this
even
day.
still when they came here, right? Like those legacies prevailed.
Those
Like
Yeah.
braiding patterns didn't come out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
But
high top
wait.
fade.
and then
You're
the
talking
hair
about
headscarf,
gardens?
right?
Yeah.
The
They
way they
braided their seeds into the hair. The
Yes.
okra, the
Yes.
sorrel,
Yeah.
like all of those things were braided into the hair.
and then
to-
even ways
the
of
hope-
Which is
resistance.
crazy
The
to
hope.
like. Imagine you're sitting there and you're like, dang. I've been noticing that people have been disappearing.
Mm.
It's not tea. I do have to get my hair done soon.
Mm-hmm.
If they take me, I should put some seeds in my
Right.
hair. Like, that's such a
wherever
beautiful
we're
thing
going.
to even like
Yes.
sit
Yeah.
and consider, and then like plan out,
Right.
and then execute,
Right.
because
Right.
multiple people have to be involved for
In
it to
case
execute
of-
it.
Right.
And so it's
Right.
like you told somebody this idea,
Yep.
Mhm.
and then she was like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's get the seeds, and then she
Right.
braided them into your hair. Like that's a different level. I don't know. That's something so powerful, and like the level of forethought, like so
Right.
Promethean.
Right. Like they didn't know where they were going.
Yeah, you
Right.
don't even know if you're gonna make it.
Right. Whew.
But they knew they were going to plant something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
They
is
knew they were going to be alive enough
that's
to
the
plant
tea.
something.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They
you don't know
knew
what's
that-
on the other side, but you do know you want to plant something.
You know you're gonna
wanna
have to
be
plant
able
this
to.
seed
You got to
because
eat.
you're gonna have to survive.
Yeah.
Yes. And that takes time.
Yeah.
That actually makes me think of something else that like popped up in my head when you were talking about like remembering your like I guess the way that your family like poured like self-worth and self-love into you, like you having to basically remember that when you were out in the world and then like pull yourself back together.
Yeah,
in
it
those
brings you back
ways.
to yourself.
But it still took time. Like,
Yeah.
no matter how, my father and my mom were two people, right? But the children are many. So I was teased a lot. So it still wasn't enough.
Right.
Like, imagine if YouTube, I grew up in '90s, so we didn't have YouTube like
Right.
that.
Well, you know, we were in college when YouTube came around, you know?
Yes.
Or like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Still, but I
Yeah.
didn't have. I wasn't into YouTube like
Yeah.
how children are into YouTube now.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And so I didn't have role models to look at to say black is beautiful all the time that could come from school. No, so actually the more I learned my culture after graduating college,
Oh, wow.
21 was when I actually dive. You can go sooner, but I decided to learn about culture, black culture, African culture, and the intentionally. And that's when I finally broke the self-hatred. Even though I grew up in an African-centered home,
Yeah.
I still lived in this country.
Yeah, because, yeah, exactly. You
Right.
still have to contend with the world
Sociopolitical
outside.
context
Exactly.
matters.
Right.
So that's when I travel to black countries, I have this level of relief lifted off my body. Because I'm not comparing myself to the opposite. Or I had to learn to look at myself through a black lens, through an African lens. And to this day, as I'm doing now, is just seeing everything, even the things that are demonized.
Right.
Seeing
Yeah.
myself through black eyes. Remembering.
But it's so that the remembering, there's a Platonic ideal called anamnesis, and it posits that there is no knowledge that you are receiving for the first time. And so everything that you're learning is something you're remembering.
Oh,
you already knew that,
man.
and so
Right.
you were remembering it all the time.
And that goes
you were
back to that
actively engaging in
conversation.
that, like on a regular basis, to make sure that you could come back to yourself.
I love
Like that's
that.
beautiful.
Can you repeat the name again?
Anamnesis.
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 Anamnesis. Say that 3 times fast.
It's 4 syllables.
Plato's an asshole, but no, I mean he is. He had like very rigid
Oh,
ideas
literally,
about
got
like
it,
people's
got it, got it.
status in the world. So, but that though,
Right.
he ate that. He ate that one little thing.
Oh Lord. No, but that brings up the conversation we were having about parallel universes, and we go off on tangents about this all the time because I'm like, well, what does it actually look like? What does it mean? And you sent me a video that kind of postulates about how the universe kind of folds on top of itself. So literally, our parallel is like the dimension above us, and we can access that. So like when we're accessing, to your point about say it again. Anamnesis, when you're accessing that, like it's a mile away from you. You're accessing this anamnesis to create a new world for yourself.
It reminds me of the word anemoia.
Say more about that.
So that is a word that means nostalgia for a world that you've never experienced.
Oh, yeah.
So when you said that word, it reminds me of that because I used that word to describe what it would be like if I could walk out into Miami and feel
Safe.
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Feel
Because that's the thing that sucks is that when you're talking about beauty, what you're actually talking about is safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like when we are
Right.
talking, because I was a little dark-skinned black girl in Texas in the early 90s. My first fight ever was with a boy who
Of
was
course.
darker skinned than me,
Same,
who
actually.
was punching me because he said that I was black and ugly.
Same.
And I had never been in a fight before, and so I was like, I don't. But also, I come from a household where like my mom is my skin color. It was
Yeah.
me and my sister, and like she poured love into us.
Yeah.
The reality of like people living in homes where people are cruel to them because they believe that they are like ugly
Less
and therefore
than,
like have no
yeah.
value. That is so far from my reality, and I think that there are a lot of us who like get to experience like that real rich like love and like awareness of your value and worth And it is jarring to go out in the world and realize that other people don't see that.
Yeah.
Because that had never occurred to me, like,
Yeah.
for real. And
And
so,
it-
like, I vividly remember when I made the connection, like, oh, these people thinking I'm ugly is part of the reason why they are violent with
Right.
me.
Yeah.
And so being ugly is actually unsafe.
Right.
People will treat me a certain way if they believe that I am ugly
Yep.
because they believe I have no value. And so no one will take up for me.
Right.
Like, that was a very sad, like, realization to have to arrive at. But, like, generally when we're talking about beauty, we're just talking about safety,
Right.
which is just like, can I go to school in the 3rd grade and then, like, go get my education and then go to recess and play and then go
Safely.
back to class and then walk home
No, you cannot.
without
That's us
somebody
now.
deciding I don't have any value because
Right.
I'm a little girl with dark skin?
After the lineage of Ruby Bridges, after all this
Like,
time,
come on.
like,
Talk about it.
wow.
Talk about it. And there's so many levels of that because I experienced both sides of that. Like I've experienced people feeling like, oh, you're too dark skinned and you liking me is crazy, so I'm gonna be mean to you. And then I've experienced the other thing where it's like, oh, this person likes you and I like that person, so I'm gonna be mean to you. Or you show up in this way and that's intimidating to me, so I'm gonna be mean to you. That has happened to me so often. Like it's made me not trust, and I'm
Yeah.
still like working through that trust issue because it's terrible how people will treat you just based off of how they assume you are because of what you look like. So
I will say, so when you were talking about traveling to places with black people, I'm gonna throw a wrench in that actually, because one of the like first like real long-term trips that I took was to India, to South India, and I was so worried because I was thinking I was going to a place with like a lot of light-skinned people and I was gonna stick out and they were gonna be weird. And the place that I went, like most people were like brown, like it was giving like dark skin, but also because it was such a small place, they did not have a script yet for how they were supposed to treat a black woman. And so everyone was just like very curious and also sweet because they were treating me like a person. They hadn't been taught how to treat
I was so
black
scared it
people
was
yet.
the other way.
No,
Okay,
no,
that's
they hadn't
good.
been taught how to treat black people, I guess. And so like
Right,
they
don't
were
have
just
the
treating me like a
conditioning.
person. Yeah. And so I remember being kind of like taken aback from the first time that I went in the village. I remember being like, this is a very strange experience because it's not anger. No one is being violent. It's also not indifference.
Right.
Because that's the other thing
Yeah.
that you get. Because
Right.
Copenhagen was indifferent down. And I was like, oh, girl, the next person who bumps into me.
Like I'm invisible.
Hey.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Listen.
That's how it was. That's how it was for me in Mexico.
See, and it's like,
oh
all right,
my god.
I will shoot this bitch up. So,
Yes,
but
I know
like,
the feeling.
the like feeling of just like none of the pathological nonsense, just getting to be a person.
Yeah.
We don't get to be people.
Do not.
Yeah.
We
Very
do not.
rarely.
Yeah.
You get to be a black woman, and that can be good or bad.
Yeah.
It can give like get away from here, black bitch, or it can give grand rising, which I don't
Right.
want either of those.
Or it could give, oh, you're different, so I'm gonna other you and
Yeah.
what is that? Misogynoir?
Yeah. Where it's like it was tight to be treated like a person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
That's what I mean. I haven't been to
Wow.
India, but I've been to 2 countries in Africa. I've been to Jamaica. And that's what I mean. It's like I can exist. Oh, in Colombia too. But Colombia also I had that same thing. Like they respect you. They call you Queen Rana everywhere you
Yeah.
go. But I didn't have that feeling of like you don't belong here feeling or I'm being watched feeling. That's what I mean. Even when I went to New Orleans actually.
Oh my god. 'Cause
Yo,
that being watched feeling makes me crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, what am I doing but sitting here existing? Why is your eyes like
Honestly.
oh my god.
But the first time I went to New
Oh.
Orleans, I felt that. I felt that I belong here. Like I felt like the commercials on the billboards where people who look like me.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also had that feeling as well. It's like I wasn't feeling
There's a
like
doctor. There's a black woman doctor on the pediatrician. There's a pediatrician's billboard that is at the major corner by my house. And every time that I go by that intersection, I look up and there's a like dark skinned black woman doctor like on this sign. I'm like,
That's
that's
iconic.
kind of tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
It's pretty
healing.
dope.
Yeah.
But it is that vibe where it's like, no, this is a black city. No matter what people want New Orleans to be.
Talk about it.
Gotcha.
New Orleans is a black city.
Yeah.
Also, like everything that. Shout out to Ryan Gilbert.
Again, this is the second time we heard his name now.
No, this Ryan Clark and Ryan Gilbert are two different Ryans.
Dang, I heard.
So
Okay,
many
my
Ryans
bad.
in New Orleans.
So sorry, Ryan. My apologies.
But he has
Ryan.
this like quote that says everything that you love about New Orleans is because of black people.
And you're welcome.
And it's like,
Yeah.
yes, we should have primacy in our culture because it's our culture. You came here because of our culture.
Yeah.
White people didn't make that second line. Be serious.
Right, yeah.
White people don't come with that gumbo. Be
Come
serious.
On, come on.
Like, yeah.
Them beignets you love so
Come on.
much.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I think that about like a place like Miami too.
Oh yes, we say
where
that.
it's like wild Caribbean and like y'all are not here because of the people who came from
after
Cuba.
us,
Like,
right?
that's not,
Yeah.
It's not because of them. That's not no.
Because
No.
the ones that look like Sally are
But
still
that's what
there.
I'm saying. The ones that came, like that's not like the no. We
Let's
know what
be
the tea is.
clear.
Come on,
Right.
Be real. Where
And
is
also,
Elion?
I will say that
Not with
Cubans,
Find it.
Find Elion. I need to talk to him today. Okay.
right? Cubans
actually working for
embracing
Castro's
their
government right
African
now.
roots
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually
You
helped
can stay where you at.
actually helped us to keep our roots here. Like as a
Yeah.
Haitian person, I really am proud that Cubans who practiced their Santeria here
Yes.
and kept it here because by the time Haitians came here,
It was
there was already
okay.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
There were
Yes.
botanicas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Big love to that.
you know what with the Cubans.
group.
No,
Those
y'all ate that.
Those Cubans.
You ate that. That botanica, you ate that. Wow.
Yeah.
Big move.
Yeah, I hear Haitians talk about. I see people talk about that a lot. It's like when they came here, there was already places to find roots and
Yes.
That's good.
yeah.
That's good.
So shout out to them, I guess. You know.
Well, I don't want it to sound like I'm like
No.
like
But
fuck them.
Miami gets
For
but
me-
there
But
is
we
that
get it.
too.
We
well,
get it.
I
Yeah.
had
That too.
I'd never experienced like I didn't know there was like a contingent of Cuban people that did not bang with black people.
Oh,
because
yeah.
in
Oh,
Dallas,
absolutely.
like it's very like Mexican heavy, but like black people live in those neighborhoods. You go to
Yeah.
Oak Cliff. I'm from Oak Cliff, and there are like complete sections where it's like Mexican, but also like you need to speak Spanish here. It is disrespectful for you to be in these people's grocery store and you are acting like they are the problem.
Right.
Like everybody in here speaks Spanish. Ask these people how much it costs in Spanish. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
learn the language because
Yeah.
you live here.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, but I also think that that's like places like this give us an invitation to
Yeah.
be in the like mix of becoming gumbo.
Yeah.
This is
Come
this is
on.
how we like do that. Like
Yeah.
Love
there's
that.
so many opportunities to like maybe that looks weird. Ask a question.
Come
like
on.
if you don't know what that tastes like, try it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
our
Be
foods are so
curious.
similar. I
Yeah.
promise,
Yeah.
babe. Like it's you're
Yes.
not about to eat anything weird. Like
Right.
you're
Yeah.
Jamaican. You know what it means to eat meat inside of dough.
Right.
Yeah.
Just try it. Like,
I also the rebel part of it is like, yeah, I'm gonna speak Spanish in America.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
My language.
That part. That part. And let me find
Y'all
the
came to our
indigenous
house,
homie,
so-
okay?
Exactly.
That's real talk right there.
We all learn some kind of native dialect.
Right.
I live in New Orleans. There's no reason for me to be trying to learn Haitian Creole, and yet I really because I have randomly like found Haitians in New Orleans.
I
know
was
that there's
about
like
to
a
say,
big
yeah.
There's a whole
I didn't
history
know
there.
a ton of
Yeah.
that until like I have randomly like met folks. I saw a guy, and this is so Haitian people have like a beautiful like
Yeah.
there's a something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
I didn't know what
cheekbones.
the something was
Yeah.
until I started coming here.
Yes.
And there's a bar near my house called Pals that I always go to. And after my first trip here, I remember going to the bar and the door guy was like, "Are you Haitian?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh." But like now, every time I go, like I speak a little Haitian Creole to him because I'm like, "Oh, there's like."
Right.
It's all around us.
Yeah.
That's
This is
so
how we get
dope.
in the swirl. Learn people's languages.
Yeah.
Like learn how to
Yeah.
communicate with people so you can actually like increase the richness
Yeah.
of your like stew.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Way to drop the mic on that, Emma.
Right?
Thank you.
What do you mean?
I said, we just way to drop the mic on that. That was
Oh.
a perfect, like, way to tie that in a bow.
Yeah, that's definitely culture and
Yeah, no, it
remembering,
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like for the
absolutely.
future too, making the gumbo. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I love the idea of Haitians in New Orleans because of
Yeah,
that
no, that's so
history and
funny.
those ties, which is why I'm so drawn to.
There's a
New
bomb
Orleans,
yeah.
Haitian restaurant also.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
and the guy who owns it is Haitian.
Mm.
One of my friends who was the only Haitian person that I knew in New Orleans before I started to like crack my eyes open. He works there, and he was like, "Hey, have you been to Fertai?" And I was like, "No."
Oh.
And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, there's one
yes.
down here.
Free thigh.
Yeah.
Okay, New Orleans free
Yeah.
thigh.
Right.
I know, right?
Trying to make a trip.
No, and it's
my
giving like
favorite
pickles and
snack.
everything." I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
Okay. In New
oh,
Orleans.
wow."
Watch out.
Right.
That's
That's so
good.
fun.
Oh, oh, this is so bittersweet. I don't want it to end, but it has to.
No. This is like, I think of this as an extension of the constant, like, porch. This is part of the peripatetic porch, the moving
Yes.
porch.
Yes.
And so, less of an end and more of a see you soon.
Yeah, until next
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Because the porch still exists.
We
When you cut
always
this
gonna
camera
have
off, you still gonna be talking.
That's real. That's real. You're right. Thank you, Emma.
I know what y'all are.
know your dirty little tricks. Well, thank you
Absolutely.
so much, both you,
Absolutely.
Emma, and both you, Inez.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Before we tie up the
Absolutely.
bow, I would love
Yes.
to hear from both of you all, like things that are coming up that folks can look forward to.
Okay. I'm releasing my next children's show called Love is a Verb.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a
Aw.
45-minute concert that teaches children and us how we're taught love. How do we show love, learn love, something you do. And so I go through different aspects of family love, friends love, love for the earth, love for yourself, and how to give yourself more love when you need it. And that is releasing officially in Virginia in May 2026.
Amazing.
Congratulations. That sounds really
That's
cool.
amazing.
Thank you.
Child, I'm working with them. So during Basel, we are curating a day of like workshops in our Highlander Center's Winter Lyceum, Popular Education, with Wikipedia, and then with comb cutters.
Yeah.
Walking us through one, how we got these bees, two, how we can live in a different relationship with the land, because how we live in relationship with the land influences the way that bees behave, but also influences apparently like the way that pollinators get to like engage with actual crops.
Come
and,
on
like,
now.
native pollinators versus the colonizer pollinator.
Talk
Yes.
that talk, Emma.
Yes.
Talk that
I got
talk.
educated.
Yeah.
So-
I know it.
So I'm like, we're doing that, and then the next day we're doing something that I'm like very, I don't know, my heart feels very like full and excited for. It's a hang session.
Yeah.
So we are doing this thing called the Art of Hanging Out. It's technology given us by Fidas Sultan, a Palestinian organizer in Copenhagen. Part of his work is helping resettled refugees build community. And so one of the ways that they do that is by sharing their hang cultures with each other. And so in this space, we have Eastern European babes, Haitian babes, Caribbean babes, Sri Lankan babes, and then Texas. But like we are all going to share one, like where we're from, to our orientation toward like building relationship with other women, building community with other women, because I imagine that all of the folks who are like going to show up, but also the people who are all involved are deeply invested in creating worlds with other women. And then also like share how we hang, where we come from. And so tea and like coffee, the way that this happens in each of these different like cultures is very different.
Yeah.
The way that Sri Lankan people do tea is very different from the way that Haitian people do it.
Right.
I want to see both. So we're going to do that. And then also like share snacks from where we're from to like really kind of dig deep into the like building, the world building aspect. I think that a little bit of unstructured time where we actually get to engage with each other and know each other deeper is very important. As an organizer, I love that we do workshops and keep the girls busy and then send them on their way with marching orders. We also need to be more thoughtful about creating space for organizers to just be human beings with other human beings and not just be big brains, but like to engage with each other's bodies in a real material human way. And so ideally, we will create this space. We will have a plethora of different women from across the world building relationship with each other and sharing cookies. Yeah.
Basically.
I'm so excited for this. It's going to be a good time. So, all that said, look out for Inez's work. Come join us at the Winter Lyceum featuring Comb Cutters and Highlander. Atala Dispatch will be on the scene, but we're, playing the background. So
In it.
we're in there. So thank y'all so much. Thank you all so much.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you for coming down.
This is a big
y'all.
work, y'all.
We
This
did
is
it, y'all. We
Very
did it.
exciting. Thank you. Yes. Good job.
Yes.
Good
we
job.
did
Good
that.
job.
So until we meet again,
Yes. Till next time.
see you soon.
Atala.
I was about to hit it with the Ellis Hayes loop.